One of the Sharks' biggest OHL stars should be on his way to the AHL.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker of the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. If you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today, we're going to be talking about Quentin Musty. We might finally be getting Quentin Musty in the AHL. We're going to be talking about the Sharks' 3-2 loss to the Edmonton Oilers, where they competed. They just couldn't find the tying goal against a short-handed team. So we'll dig into that. We'll talk about Ferraro, Georgi, Romanov, and dig into the numbers of that game. So before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. And we have to start with Quentin Musty. One of the Sharks' top prospects, right? Former first-round pick from the 2023 draft. Same draft that you got Will Smith in. Quentin Musty, who's had a very up and down season with the Sudbury Wolves, right? Just as a quick recap, after he was sent back to juniors from San Jose Sharks training camp, he held out asking for a trade. Was out for a month, basically was told, like, you're not getting traded. And the Sharks were like, dude, you need to get back and play. So he gets back, he plays for a couple weeks, quickly breaks his hands and misses about 6 weeks. And then he comes back and he plays out the rest of the season. Sudbury tonight gets swept by Kingston. So his season is done. What does that mean? That means Quentin Musty is now free to play in the AHL now. Since his OHL season is done, he can come and play with the San Jose Barracuda for the rest of their season, playoffs included. This is great. Quentin Musty definitely, right? You go back to after his draft year, tore up the OHL. Was almost a 2-point per player game in the OHL after he was drafted. Very much big fish in a small pond. This season, right, because of the CHL NHL agreement, he's stuck in no man's land of he can't, right? Not good enough to go play in the NHL, which is fair, right? 19-year-old kid. Not good enough to play in the OHL or in the NHL, but he's too good playing the OHL and he can't play in the AHL. So definitely was not the season that you want to have from Quentin Musty. He still scored 30 goals in 33 games, which is absolutely ridiculous. That he's almost a goal per game player. Granted, 33 games is a smallish sample size, we'll say, in the OHL. But now, though, Quentin Musty is done. Like, he does not he is eligible to play with the San Jose Barracuda from now on, or in the NHL. And I think the big question is, where does he fit on the Barracuda? Because he should 100%, like already people like, can he go play with the Sharks and stuff? Quentin Musty, I love Quentin Musty. I think he's going to be a great player. Quentin Musty needs to go play against grown men for a little bit. And here's my question to you. Would you rather Quentin Musty go play in the AHL, where he's going to be playing very meaningful games right now for a Barracuda team that really needs a shot of life right now as they fight for a playoff spot and fight for playoff positioning? Or would you rather him play on a Sharks team that is got a couple games left here? They're probably going to get the crap kicked out of them for the next 2 weeks. And again, they played very well tonight. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I would rather send Quentin Musty to the AHL because he needs some he needs some seasoning against playing against grown men. Because like what Quentin Musty does well is, right, he's bigger, stronger, faster than most of the people he plays with. Now, when you start to play against grown men who are also the same strength as you, there's going to be an adjustment period for him. And very much believe in Quentin Musty. I think Musty is going to have a great career for the Sharks. But again, like, we don't want to rush his development and skip steps. And I think for Musty playing for the Barracuda now and, starting next season with the Barracuda, and you can go from there, is the best path for his success, right? And the Barracuda team needs it, right? Especially Andrew Podorowski's out. The AHL's leading scorer, like Phil B said, might be returning. You look at their blue line, which is a hot mess because of the Sharks' defense right now is a hot mess. They could use a shot like that injection of talent. And Quentin Musty, definitely an injection of talent. So where does he fit in right now with the Barracuda? And I think for him, the two players I kind of thought I think would be great centers for him and where we could potentially see Musty play well is one, Thomas Bordeleau. Last game, Bordeleau played with Ethan Cardwell and Pavel Regenda. I would keep, you could either do Bordeleau Regenda Musty, or you could do Bordeleau Cardwell Musty. I would probably go Bordeleau Cardwell Musty because I think those three players really work together, at least in theory, right? You have Quentin Musty, who is an excellent scorer, clearly, right? You have Thomas Bordeleau, who's a great playmaker. And then you have Ethan Cardwell, who can be that kind of jack of all trades, forechecking type of player. I think that's a really good line combination for him. And I would definitely play Quentin Musty top 6 minutes, right? Even as a 19-year-old, I would definitely put him in because that is your best position for him to succeed. And the Barracuda have a lot of guys who can kind of play those bottom 6 minutes for you. You look at guys like Van Roboys and Sabrin, even like a guy like a Pavel Regenda. If you want to have him on your third line and just be a really nice piece on that third line. They have a lot of those guys who play very well on the third line. Like Anthony Vincent. Anthony Vincent is a perfect bottom 6 guy. Because yes, he's gritty and stuff, but he's also got some skill to him. Same thing with Van Roboys. 2 guys, or Donovan Hull. Those 3 guys definitely have that grit and that edge that you want on your bottom 6, but also provide scoring and they have an identity, those type of guys. So but I think though playing with Bordeleau wouldn't be a bad position, at least until Andrew Podorowski gets back. And the hope is Podorowski will be back at some point this season. We'll see. That's the hope. Because Barracuda really need him. He's very important to them. Or you could potentially play him with a guy like Phil Beasted, who I think also their skills combined. You look at the way Quentin Musty plays, his ability to get passes to high danger areas. Phil Beasted, who's big guy who can kind of perk in the slot there and find some quiet ice. I think that'd be a natural combination for the two. You probably want a little bit more of a defensive-minded forward, again, like an Ethan Cardwell on that line with them to help that out. But there's plenty of combinations for the Sharks or for the Barracuda here with Quentin Musty. So it's really exciting because we've been waiting for Musty to get here to San Jose, and this is that kind of first step for him, or that next step for him, who he's watched. I watched tonight's game. I usually try to kind of bounce around. I made it a point to watch Sudbury's game tonight because I had a feeling this was probably his last game. And you saw a guy who missed game 1 of the playoffs, still doesn't look 100% Musty, but I thought he looked much better tonight than he had. Each game he's been looking more like Quentin Musty. So we'll see when he makes his debut. I maybe Saturday, if he joins the team in Colorado. But again, we don't know if he's kind of still dealing with something here. Kind of where he's at with his, but maybe Saturday. If not, you're looking at you're looking at Wednesday the 9th at Coachella. I think Saturday the 5th against Colorado or Wednesday the 9th at Coachella would be the two games that you're probably looking at for Musty. And we could also be getting a fireworks factory in Igor Chernyshov very quickly as well, as they are now down 3-1. Saginaw's down 3-1 to Erie. Saturday is a potential game. The same thing. Igor Chernyshov, as soon as his season is done, come on down to the Barracuda, since both those guys have already signed their ELCs. And with Chernyshov also being since he was in the KHL when he got drafted, just like Kasper Holson, he can play with the Barracuda anytime. No CHL, NHL agreement with them. So very exciting to have Quentin Musty. Quentin Musty should be on his way. So not official, but should be on his way. So we'll probably know more on Friday. But maybe even by the time you're listening to this, that we'll know if Quentin Musty's on his way. So we're actually going to now talk about the Sharks' 3-2 loss to the Edmonton Oilers. A game where, again, I thought they played very well. They did a good job of answering some every moment that they could, except for the last one. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. Daylight savings snuck on us again, and if you're feeling that lost hour of sleep, 5-Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through, whether you're staying up late to watch NCAA tournament, squeezing around of golf after work, or if you're like me, that springtime means kids' sports activities. 5-Hour Energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. With the longer days, I love going to watch my kids play sports, or if you want to go take a hike or whatever it is, they've got you covered there. And the convenience, you just grab a little bottle, throw it in your bag. It's easy to grab and go and keep you feeling refreshed. So head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered right to your door. If you need one now, grab a 5-Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized. All right, before we finish up, do want to thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't now, perfect time to subscribe, even though the season's winding down, off season where we shine here at Locked On Sharks, as there's plenty of fun stuff to talk about with $40 million in cap space, potential top 3 pick, and a plethora of draft picks for Mike Grier to do whatever he wants. So we'll have you covered for every potential move that Mike Grier might have planned for the Sharks. So make sure you follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. So, big takeaway from this game was the compete level from the Sharks, who, again, like, you're down a bunch of players, right? Shakir Mukhamadullin gets knocked out last game. You find out Alexander Georgiev is not going to be able to play in this game. So you have to call up Gabe Carrier, like, very surprising. The Sharks are on their 4th and 5th goalie in the system, right? If you go back to Vitek Vanacek, then you went Georgiev / Mackenzie Blackwood. We'll just kind of split those guys. Askarov, who's the 3rd guy in the system. Romanov, Gabe Carrier. Those are your 5 guys right now in this system. So you are scraping at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to your goaltending depth here, right? You have no more NHL contracts available. But shout out to, like, this team competed in a game that you very easily could have seen this thing go away. And yes, I know Edmonton Oilers very shorthanded tonight, right? No McDavid. Draisaitl leaves midway through this game here. Looks like he re-aggravated whatever was bothering him. Also, I think, too, from Edmonton's perspective, right? You'd rather not risk him in a game against the Sharks when you're going to need him for big games against the Kings or like in the playoffs. Like, it's not worth him hurting it even more. So makes sense from their perspective. And they, credit to them, they kind of found a way to grind out this game. But I mean, like I said with the Sharks, right? You saw that first goal, horrible defensive lapse there, and Connor Brown just boom scores, and it feels like it's going to be one of those. Okay, does Edmonton kind of take off here, right? And then put up 2 or 3 quickly, and then all of a sudden it's a game that we have this weekend where it's 8-1, and the Sharks just look miserable. But credit to the Sharks, they found a way to really kind of push back every time they kind of got pushed. Jack Thompson scoring a big goal, right? And then later in the game, right, Oilers go up by 1 off of the power play, and Tyler Toffoli scored that. That goal was bonkers. Will Smith, massive breakout pass. Macklin Celebrini, insane spin pass to get it to Mario Ferraro. And then Ferraro, great pass as well to Toffoli, who buries it. Like that whole play was just absolutely bonkers from them. And the only thing that the Sharks just weren't able to do is find that goal late after Edmonton scored, midway through the third period to tie things up here. But from a tank perspective, this is the perfect game, right? You competed all game, you kept it close, you weren't embarrassed, and you lost in regulation. So we will take that from the tank. If you do want to know where we're at with the tank, as of right now, Sharks, Chicago, both 75 games played. Sharks have 50 points. Chicago has 52. 14-18 regulation wins. Both teams have lost 4 in a row. 2 points right now for the Sharks. So we're getting closer and closer to it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a tight one. And Chicago plays the Capitals on Friday. I know the Caps have been a little leaky here. But still, that's a big game, and I know everyone's watching for Ovechkin as he inches closer. So, but another player I have to shout out. Mario Ferraro tonight was outstanding. Which, again, I know, JD Young complimenting Mario Ferraro. Mario Ferraro was everywhere tonight. He was playing very well in the defensive zone. Even like on that goal, the Toffoli goal that he had, his back check and his kind of ability, he dislodged the puck from the man and then was able to get on his horse and go the other way. 2 assists from Ferraro tonight. I thought easily played one of his best games in a while. He probably heard me call him below average NHL player a lot yesterday and decided I took it in his own hands. So, great game from Ferraro. I think we're like, if you get Ferraro playing like that every night, like then, we can talk. But again, it's always been that kind of consistency with Ferraro of can he play at that high of a level every night? And he played very well tonight. So, but I think though another guy, we'll talk a little bit more about him, but I thought Eklund had a great night tonight as well. I thought he was all over the ice. And Georgi Romanov. Romanov, again, like you find out you're going to be starting this game today. Luckily it wasn't like Gabe Carrier finds out against the, like in warm-ups that he's starting that night because of Askarov, like a last-minute scratch. But I thought Romanov battled tonight, and that's kind of what he does. We've talked about Romanov before, but 35 saves on 38 shots, 3 goals allowed on expected goals against was 2.57. Like you'll live with that. 921 save percentage. 6 of 8 high danger saves, 4 of 5 mid danger, 23 of 23 low danger. Like the Sharks, credit to the Sharks defense to help keep the Oilers pushed out and keeping, kind of trying to keep the crease as clear as possible. And, those high danger, trying to kind of limit those high danger chances for the Sharks. So I like, if Romanov keeps battling like that and stuff, and I still think Romanov and Carrier is as your AHL goalies next year, like I can totally live with that. So, but yeah, pretty pretty solid. We'll definitely take that. So we'll dig into the numbers here some more. Kind of talk about how the Sharks really came alive in the first period. Look at how all the lines were everywhere. Cam Lund continuing to press. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. The NCAA tournament is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, and even who's cutting down the nets. Duke, I guess. I don't know, man. Just pick your favorites because it's all been favorites in this tournament. And I guess now we're just down to the final favorites, but Duke or Auburn. I don't know. I have not watched any. So maybe don't listen to me. Go with the opposite. So, but FanDuel, though, they make it simple and easy to use. And when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com and get on the college hoops action all tournament long. All right, before we finish up by digging into the numbers of this game, of course, want to thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. When you're done with this show, go check out one of the other great shows here at the Locked On Network. You have Locked On NHL, where they cover all the biggest stories. 100% talking about Leon Draisaitl on Friday, or every Tuesday, me and Seth, we have a good time. You can go check that out, or check out one of the other great shows here in the Bay Area. Locked On Warriors. Warriors, are we back? Big win tonight over the Lakers. Locked On Giants. Giants, are they good? Locked On Niners gets you ready for the draft. Locked On A's. Anyway, go check out any of the shows wherever you listen to this show, or you can watch on YouTube as well. All right, the numbers behind this game. So definitely, like Edmonton, definitely, kind of had the advantage in this game. But again, I think the Sharks showed a lot of life and showed a lot of kind of compete. I know that's kind of the word of the night tonight. 52 minutes of 5-on-5 play, 59 to 41 shot attempts in favor of the Oilers. Very easy, 59 to 41 Corsi percent. Actual shots at 5-on-5, 33 to 28. Scoring chances, 20 to 16. 9 to 4 high danger chances, all those in favor of the Oilers. 1.92 to 1.29 expected goals for, and then both teams scored 2 5-on-5 goals. The Oilers got 1 on the power play. So, first period though, Sharks outshot the Oilers, right? And especially after that first goal, Sharks did a great job of climbing back in and really kind of setting the tone. But then the Oilers took over in the second period, and the Sharks continued to make it interesting. But I think the third period where the Oilers showed that maturity, right? Shot attempts in the third period at 5-on-5 was 21 to 8 and 17, a little over 17 minutes of 5-on-5 time, right? Not including the empty net situation at the end of the game. But 21 to 8, right? That's a mature team, kind of controlling the pace, grinding things out there, and just trying to kind of play keep away with the Sharks. So I think that third period where we've seen from San Jose, right? It's just that finding that extra gear, finding that, and the Sharks just don't quite have that yet. I totally believe they're going to get there. They just don't quite have it yet. So as for the lines, which are a little bit everywhere tonight, Smith, Celebrine, Toffoli played 14-51, 13-13 shot attempts, 7-9 actual shots, had a goal, 0.42 expected goals for to 0.58 expected goals allowed, 7-7 scoring chances, 2-3 high danger chances. The sleepover line, I think, continues to play well. You can definitely kind of mix and match the top six, but right now I think this line's playing well, and I do think we're going to see a Celebrini breakthrough. It's been a little like he had an assist tonight, but I think it's been 1 goal in his last 10 games. I feel the Celebrini breakthrough's coming here, so maybe it's on Saturday against the Kraken, but I do feel like we're overdue for a big Celebrini game. So Eklund, Wenberg, Cam Lund played 907. They had 8 to 9 shot attempts, 5 to 5 actual shots, did give up a goal, 0.38 to 0.3 expected goals for, and 4-4 scoring chances and 2-2 high danger chances. Eklund, Wenberg, and Colin Graff played 4-1, 4 to 5 shot attempts, 3 to 3 actual shots, had a goal, 0.07 to 0.24 expected goals for, 3 to 2 scoring chances, and 0 to 1 high danger chances. So I wanted to kind of combine those and talk about both sets of lines here. We'll start with Lund, Cam Lund, who continues to play very well. You see all the little kind of details and to his game, and I still think he's getting a little like used to the NHL speed. There's a couple times where he had some passes to him, and it's just that split second behind him of going that jump right from college hockey, which definitely played a little bit more slower pace, right? It's more kind of structured and stuff, to the NCAA, which is structured, but also insanely fast paced. You're seeing a little bit of that delayed reaction. And I do think, though, he's continuing to play well. And if he keeps the way he's going, like he should start next season on the Barracuda, might get thrown out the window because he just continues to kind of whatever gets thrown at him. He continues to kind of do what's asked of him and keep coming through. So, I was really impressed with him. Graff, again, I think Graff is still like that really high end third line, if you need to play on the second line type of player, which is fine, and whatever you need to do. He did have he had a really great chance tonight to tie the game up late. Credit to Picard who made a great save there with his head. But I do think again, Colin Graff is coming right along with what you want and expect from him. So the Noah Gregor, Zach Ostapchuk, Barclay Goodrow played 801, 4 to 7 shot attempts, 3 to 3 actual shots, 0.09 to 0.1 expected goals for that line, 1 to 1 scoring chances for them. And then you had, again, they're everywhere. Delandria we'll just talk about Delandria Grundstrom. I thought Grundstrom, this was kind of the most we've seen from him in a while. I thought he had a pretty solid game tonight. Was again kind of attacking the net, getting shots on net, kind of that shooting for rebounds from him. And the bottom six is definitely a revolving door of players. And this time of the year is kind of that showcase of, okay, can you stick around and be one of those pieces for us kind of going forward? So I did think Grundstrom did kind of flash a little bit more tonight. Zach Ostapchuk is still really, I'm trying the Zetterlund rule with him of let's let him get situated here, but still it is you're not really seeing too much from him quite yet. You see some flashes here and there, but still you're kind of, I think, left wanting more from him. So looking at the defensive pairings tonight, so again, Mario Ferraro I thought was outstanding. Ferraro Liljegren led the way with shot attempts 55.56, Corsi 20 to 16. Carlson Thompson 5 to 13 shot attempts, and Thron Vlasic 21.74, 5 to 18 shot attempts. Thompson did have a nice goal. He's going to continue to give you offense there when the Sharks still really do need some more offense from the blue line. But overall, I thought the defense, again, you didn't control the shot attempts, but I did think the defense overall played much better tonight compared to what we've seen from them. And that's what especially with all the moving pieces right now, it was good to see Grand Admiral Henry Thrun back. Shout outs. We got a Grand Admiral Henry Thrun on the reference on the broadcast. So do love that. But I do think, again, you didn't control the pace. You kind of expected that with playing against the Oilers. Even when they're shorthanded, they still have plenty of great players. But again, you did a good job of trying to make life a little bit easier for Romanov tonight, and Romanov battled. And, we'll take a 3-2 loss where you hold your head high coming out of that game. So we'll be back. We'll see what happens this weekend if something crazy happens. If we get Chernyshov news, or if we get like, keep your ears keep your ears open on Saturday night. We might have something. We'll see. So if not, we'll be back on Monday or Sunday night Monday. So make sure you follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until sometime soon. Bye, friends.